Hi, this is Lake, and you're watching The Music Enthusiast.
Hi, I'm Sarah from the Music Enthusiast, and today I'm here with Lake. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. How's your day been so far? What time is it where you are right now?
What time? Oh, it's about like one-ish here in LA. Where are you at?
I'm in Montreal, so it's 4.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So it's a couple hours difference. Yeah, it's a 1 p.m. here. And it's a nice afternoon. It's a little bit hot today. We've been like having some unusually nice, warm, but not hot weather. It's been like really nice.
Yeah, same here. It's like almost 30 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit,
I'm
but
not either.
like we had a thunderstorm the other day, so it's nice to for it to be warm and sunny.
Yeah, I have a little break from the heat.
Yeah, exactly. So you are LA based, you're from Texas. So
Mhm.
when did you move from there and what were your soundtracks on the road?
Oh, wow. I moved from LA a couple years after I graduated. So it was like a year and a half after I graduated. I saved enough money and got in a position where I could come out here. And I was lucky I had a dad that was supportive of me moving as well. So I will always be forever thankful because I don't think I could have ever done it without his support. Especially I'd never lived anywhere but Texas, and Texas is kind of its own world. So on the way out, I mean, the soundtrack was full of a lot of punk rock and a lot of classic rock because I was very much in that mode of my life. And I still, of course, always listen to all of the above. But there was like I was listening to like the Casualties and X, and like I love more like kind of hardcore punk like that. But I also am like a fan of like NoFX and Rancid. Like I love their vibes, and like their old school albums are really awesome. And then there was also a little bit of, because I'm close to my sister Allison, and she had followed the Grateful Dead before Jerry died. So I had a little bit of like Grateful Dead mixed in, which I know people would probably be shocked about. And a little bit of like Led Zeppelin. It was kind of like in that world between punk rock and classic rock coming out here.
And that's so crazy because you like straight up make like pop. Like so
And Prince, oh my gosh, there was a lot of Prince because I'm a huge Prince fan. And Prince, I feel like when you need to like pick yourself up and you're on like a long road trip, put in some Prince and it'll like get you moving, you know?
yeah, exactly. And since we're talking about like music inspirations, like what is your most fondest musical memory?
I have so many great, amazing musical memories because I've seen so many shows. I mean, I've seen like The Cure like 12 times,
Wow.
I've seen Radiohead like 14 times. There's certain bands like I not followed around, but like I was traveling and I would be like, okay, if they're here, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'd hit it. And there was this one summer I was in Europe and they were both on like a festival circuit at all the countries me and my friends were going to. We were like, well, let's just hit them because we're here. So I saw them a lot, but I have so many influences, and then I'm hugely influenced by, Janet Jackson. And I remember seeing her in the early 2000s perform, and she was just, it's like there's nobody better, she's just the consummate, most amazing performer. She can dance, she's actually singing parts other people wouldn't sing, you know what I'm saying? She's really got it. And she's got this warm kind of calming energy when she's on stage, she's not pushing anything too hard. She really lets like the audience come to her, but she gives so much. She's really beautiful. But my first amazing musical memory was, or one of my first, my dad as a kid, we'd take us to the state fair in Texas. It's a really big deal. It's like the biggest state fair of all the state fairs. And you get a day off school actually in Texas. They give you a free ticket and you get a day off for fair day. That's how big of a deal it is, But if you're ever there and you can go to the state fair and you happen to be in Dallas, it's timing wise, go, because it's so amazing. It's incredible. He would take us every year, and Carlos Santana and ZZ Top were playing. And I was really little. I must have been like 7 or 8 or 9 or something. And he was like, okay, girls, to me and my sister, he was like, we're going to go watch these bands. And we were like, we want to ride rides. And he was like, I'm the youngest of 4. So he was a pro by the time I got there, like at winning every game. He was like the dad who'd mastered it. They would get like the big teddy bear, you know what I mean? Work his way up from the tiny little thing.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a really good dad. And I was like, wait, we want it. My sisters and I were like, no. And we went and saw it. And I just remember being like, these guys, like, see, first ZZ Top with the long beards, and they're doing their thing, because they're just a whole moment. And they're actually from Dallas. They're from Irving, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. And they I think they got kicked out of their high school for not wanting to cut their hair. That is the rumor. I don't know if that's true, but supposedly that's, and I wouldn't surprise me. And I remember seeing them, and then Carlos Santana come on stage, and he started playing the guitar and singing, and he's so good and he's so beautiful. And it was a moment. And I remember just being in awe of him and his talent and being like, wow, like this person, this is about like the music. He was so just about the music, and it really hit me even as a little kid.
Yeah, that's incredible. And since you were sort of exposed to like all these music like icons, like did you always want to be a singer? Like was it always like your number one thing?
I have been like, my mom put us in dance when we were very, very little, and I was the youngest. So I was like, since I could talk, I was like, I want to go to dance class. So finally at like 2.5, she was like, okay, you're not supposed to start till 3, but we're just going to do it. And I was behind all the other kids, all the steps in the recital, because I was younger, and that year makes a big difference in like, when you're 2 and 3, you know what I mean? It's a huge year. So it was really funny, but I just wouldn't let her go about it. So I've been on stage since I was a kid, and I really enjoyed and learned the art of performance and working on something and like honing your art and your craft and the discipline of that. And I think that eventually like that led into music, because I would do these summer programs at my dance studio, and one of the teachers did like a musical theater summer thing one summer. And she was like, you can actually sing. She was like she'd done Broadway and stuff. Her name is Sherry. She's amazing. And she was like, you can sing. You should pay attention to this. She said it to my mom, and I was like, okay, well, if she wants to, And I kind of, at that point, started taking notice, getting involved with choir, getting involved in any musical theater I could in throughout my school or theater. And yeah, I think it kind of started fostering it. But for me, I didn't realize I wanted to actually pursue being like a singer, a musician, until I was in my teens, because I think that I was, thinking more like musical theater and stuff like that. And I'd always been writing poetry my whole life. And then at some point I was like, oh, these could be songs. So yeah, it didn't really strike me until I was probably 16. Like, okay, this is actually what I'm gonna do. But I was always in the arts, and I knew I was gonna be in the arts one way or another. It ended up evolving to LA.
I was a musical theater kid too. I like in like elementary, so far away now. I was like, I played the old grandma in like the Addams Family.
Yes, what a role. Yes,
I had to dye my hair like with chalk, like gray, like wear this like raggedy dress, like
I need to see photos of this, please. I'm like, Mom, where's Mom or Dad? Dig up photos. Okay.
I think I actually have it on DVD, so I'll send it to you after.
Awesome.
So, I mean, you used to have purple hair, and now your hair is like this, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Your aesthetic sort of used to be like a hazy, like purple, dreamy vibe, and now you're like in your face pop colors, and I love it. So, when did this change happen? What inspired you to make this change, and why do you think it is the perfect choice?
I had been in that kind of, I called it icy lavender world for a very long time, that kind of trippy icy lavender world. And that's where Layke started. That's where I started in this, this world, putting out pop music. And pop was something, I mean, I've been a rock musician my whole life. Everything I did before I started making music with Adrian Gervitz in 2017 and putting out music in 2018 was all rock. Like I was intimidated by synths and drum machines, and like I was very much that girl, that was like, I'm not going to sell out and do this. And like, I had a tunnel vision, and it was limiting me. And my producer said, hey, you really like, you love electro. Like he's like, you listen to a ton of old school electro pop. That's amazing. He's like, I don't understand why you wouldn't get into like synths. They quit being intimidated. So he kind of introduced me to that world. And that's how like Layke was born, because it's not my birth name, but that is how that was born. And it was this whole new side of me. And within that, I'd done every hair color in the world, honestly, in my life. Like I've done fire, I've done the purple and pink, I didn't pick a color, any color, but I'd really never gone like purpley or blue. So I was like talking to my friend Daniel Moon, he's a hairstylist, and we were kind of fleshing it out. And I was like, I'm thinking this kind of vibe. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. And it brought on like this fluidity and this flow into the project, you know, where, like sometimes you don't even know you need to be somewhere and you become like more of yourself through it. And that's through like synthesizers and drum machines and getting into the pop world and not limiting myself. I really started to grow, and the whole image of that kind of hazy, trippy purple world grew. And it was a great place to be, and it was soft and it was special, you know, and it was new. And now I think I've really come into my own, and this is like Layke 2.0, because I'm really starting to, I'm not just dipping my foot in the, you know, the pop world. Like I've dove in, sorry. I have dove into the deep end and I love it. Pop doesn't have to be this one way, like this bubblegum thing, or, you know, there's so many versions of it. And I almost think all music at this point is pop. So I don't know. I just think I started coming into my own, and I wanted to do something more edgy and a little more nod to my kind of punk rock roots. And this kind of ended up coming along. And again, with Daniel Moon, my hairstylist, who's amazing, we came up with this together. He was like, we got to do something fierce for you. And he suggested the black line on the back. And then I was like, we need to do, I've never done the side bangs. I was like, let's do it. And it kind of was a collaboration moment. And as for the colors and the shooting, I'm working with Quinn Tucker, who's an amazing photographer, and Marissa Aisa, who's been creative directing with me on the project, and and producing, and she's great. They both have. And they were like, we really think we need to push. They came to me and said, we think we should push more of a Y2K element. And I was like, makes sense to me. I mean, I lived through it. It's a great era. You know what I mean? I was like, it speaks to me very much. I was like, let's do it. So that's when we said, let's get intense, let's get vivid let's really saturate with the colors. And it kind of all came together. It was collaboration. And I'm getting better at collaborating, and I think it's doing me better because my stuff's getting better by doing that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. You are going to release a new EP very soon. It's called Frequency. And I sort of came up with like a little theory. Let me know if it's false. Let me know if you like it. So you love to celebrate the queer community, and like frequency, I suck at science, but I think it's like X-ray or like sound frequencies. There's like that rainbow sort of like,
Yes.
really cool. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if you thought of that, but
No, it's funny because I think you're going to be very nicely surprised by the cover, because the cover is, I don't want to give away too much, but the cover is going to give you a little bit of what you're talking about. So you're right on the pulse. And yeah, Frequency, it's the title track, and this song is really, you know, when we wrote it, when Adrian and I wrote it, we wanted it to be like a beautiful moment about really, you know, finding yourself and coming into your own, and kind of finding that peace, you know, that peace with yourself and that acceptance and that love. The whole overall record, you know, it's a dichotomy of what I've been going through over the past couple of years, which I think most people have, which is a lot of anxiety and stress. And then on the other side, they're like dancing around their living room. So half the songs are about my mental health struggles with anxiety, because I have anxiety. And then half of them are like dance bops. So with Frequency, you know, I think that in life, we all kind of operate on a frequency, and when something is off, your frequency is off, you know, and sometimes you have to take a second to get things back to like homeostasis, so you can be on that level and you can move and operate in the world, you know, as your true authentic self, as who you need to be. So that's that's where the root of where it came from.
and what do you do to like sort of take a break? Like
Okay, well, I have a dog. You want to see?
yes.
So this is my best friend in the world. Sorry if I just showed you my butt. Okay. This is Zoltan. Joe, hi, sweetie. And Zoltan and I, he's my best friend. So we do lots of things. We take walks, we snuggle, we go to lunch together, we do fun things. I love food with friends. I'm a big, like, good cocktail, good food kind of person, you know, like I won't go out and like go to, like, not really like a bar person, stuff like that, you know, but I love to sit down for like a few hours and have a great meal. I love going to the beach and getting sun and just like walking around the beach area, you know, and like that vibe. I'm pretty simple, you know. I certain shows I love to binge. I love bubble baths, you know, like
yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's how I relax, those kind of things. But I mean, for me, it's honestly food and friends. Like my dad's from Italy, and we were very raised on that European vibe of like breaking bread and spending like real time at meals with people is important. So my favorite thing is to foodie with friends.
Amazing. And this is our fun question for you. If you could describe your music as an animal, which animal would it be and why?
This is hard. Everyone always says I'm a flamingo.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if that's the music. The music would be like more like a dolphin, I think, because it's like fluid and it's got like a like a flowing vibe, and there's something fresh about it, but there's also something like comforting about it. So a dolphin.
That makes sense. I love it. And my last question for you is, who are your favorite artists right now?
Oh goodness. There are so many good people putting out music. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with Rina Sawayama.
Oh,
Her stuff, her shows, everything is just, she's killing it. She needs to like be at the top of the game. Charlie XCX, I think they're on like the same like management and stuff like that. They're fabulous. Their teams are amazing, clearly, and they're also amazing. I really love Little Sims, the rapper from the UK. She's just like so young and so fierce, and she's such a self-assurance about herself that I don't even know if I'll ever get there. She's like younger than me for sure. And FKA Twigs is like always murdering it. I mean, I can't. And Kehlani just put out a really good album too. Yeah, very femme-centric world I'm
I
in.
love it. I love it, as it should be.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. It was so much fun. So happy to meet your dog. And yeah, have a great day.
Thank you so much. This is so great. Thank you so much for having me.